Second importance is given to your body language. Whenever you talk about the communication, the second importance is given to your body language. How are your body gestures when you are speaking to that person? Okay, body, it says that your body speaks, isn't it? Many times you must have heard this sentence that your body speaks. Without you speaking, also without you uttering a single word from your mouth, there are many things that you are communicating with your body. There are many things that you are communicating with your gestures. Okay, so your body is speaking, your body is sending messages. Some of the examples of how your body speak is blushing. किसी ने आपकी तारीफ कर दी और आपने ब्लश किया, okay, it means what? You are accepting his whatever praises that he's giving to you. You are liking that praises. That is what that is the message that your body is communicating to you. Eye contact. When you do eye contact, we are going to talk about eye contact in detail also further. It is great stress is given on the eye contact. When you are seeing eye to eye with somebody, when he or she is talking, it also gives a sign of truthfulness. It also says that you are not lying to somebody. Okay, so that is the importance of eye contact. Eye contact has many different meanings at different places. How that we are going to study further about in body language. Okay, the facial expression that you are giving when the other person is communicating to you gives many important information to the person. For example, when a person is talking to you and you give a different type of face expression, he gets an idea whether you have understood it, whatever he is talking, whether you are confused what he is telling you, whether you have not understood what you are telling him, whether you are happy with whatever he is saying, whether you are sad with whatever he is saying, whether you are angry with whatever he is saying. So all this facial, whatever your body is telling is all written onto your face. Okay, when the other person is talking to you. Okay, so जब वो आपसे बात कर रहा है तो याद रखना आपकी बॉडी उसके साथ कम्युनिकेट कर रही है. Okay, and he is observing your communication. At the same time, when you are talking with that person, okay, when you are communicating, जब आप बोल रहे हो तब उसकी बॉडी कुछ ना कुछ कम्युनिकेट करने वाली है. Okay, his body is also communicating. And now you have to understand what his body is communicating to you, what he is trying to say to you. That you have to understand. Okay, so it is both the ways. It is you also have to understand what his body is speaking. At the same time, when he is speaking, your body should also give him positive signals. It should not give him wrong signals. It doesn't mean कि आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा तो आप उसको फिर भी पॉजिटिव सिग्नल्स दोगे. नहीं, अगर आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा तो आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा. Then you have to ask him again. Okay, you have to tell him I have not understood. Kindly tell me what you were speaking. The posture, it plays a very important role. How you are standing, how you are sitting. Okay, when you are sitting in this way, near to him, when he's speaking, gives an indication that you are interested in the subject that he's talking. And when you go in this way, back, when he's speaking, gives a gesture that you're not interested in talking. When you sit straight, gives a different kind of a gesture. How you are standing, how you are sitting. Okay, that postures. Okay, your body is speaking with those postures, right? I talked about the way we are standing, the breathing rate. Okay, when the other person is talking to you, आपका breathing rate कितना high and low है. Okay, that gives a different kind of signal to the person. At the same time, when you are speaking with the other person, how is your breathing rate? And when he is speaking to you, how is your breathing rate? That tells you a lot about the the communication. Then swallowing, जैसे मैंने अभी किया, and speaking, or बातों करते करते बीच में, what I was trying to tell you is you have to understand very well. Okay, now this is the way I was speaking. Can you understand? I was swallowing and coughing when I was speaking. So that gives you an idea that this person is not confident on whatever he is trying to say. This swallowing and coughing gives you that kind of a body language. Fidgeting. When you're talking, somebody is doing this, playing with, for example, I'm fidgeting with my a bottle. I'm just opening the bottle. I'm trying to close this bottle. Okay. I'm just moving this bottle from one hand to other hand. Okay. While talking, I'm just moving this bottle. I'm playing with the mouse. I'm looking at my this mask and so on and so forth. When I'm doing all these things, that is known as fidgeting. That is also one type of body language. Touching somebody, okay, that we are going to talk in our last aspect of communication, that is physical communication. Okay, and that also touch plays a very important role when you are talking. If somebody is talking, कोई तो भी अपना दुख बता रहा है, he is keeping his hand on the tables and you keep your hand onto his hand. Okay, it gives a different kind of a meaning. It gives a different kind of emotion. You are trying to tell him, yes, I am with you. Okay, actively nodding your head when somebody else is talking. Okay, smiling when somebody else is talking, or when you are talking, you are smiling and talking. Okay, or when somebody else is nodding his head when other person is talking. Okay, these all are the types of body languages. And these body languages should go hand in hand with what you are speaking. Okay, I should not tell a joke and be very angry. वहां से एक लड़का आया, उसने उसको पूछा, ऐसा हुआ, फिर ये ऐसा हुआ. This is the joke. It cannot be in that way. Are you understanding? When your body language, okay, and your whatever you are telling should go hand in hand. Or if I'm angry on somebody, then I cannot be smiling and I cannot smile on it. You are not studying. This is not good. No, I'm not happy on you. It cannot be in that way, isn't it? It has to be when I'm scolding somebody, when I'm angry on somebody, my body language should go in that way. I have to have that facial expression I should keep that facial expression on me, whereby he should understand that I am angry on him. So my words, okay, which definitely is contributing only 7%, but they are there. So those words and my body language, they should go hand in hand. Okay, they should not move separately. They should have hand in hand and they should move together. See, like when I said they should go hand in hand, but these are my words, so I did this. So they should go hand in hand. So my body language, okay, and my words, they are going what? They are going together. So when I said they are going together, then I had this kind of an action. Okay. So your body language should also, when you're speaking, your body should also speak. Or when somebody else is speaking, then your body language should give the messages which the other person is going to understand. Okay. It may be that you have understood, that may be the message. It may be that you may not have understood, that may be the message. But your body should keep on giving the messages which the other person is going to get. According to me, there are two types of body language. Okay. One which are voluntary and one which are involuntary. Now, if you talk about blushing, blushing is a involuntary kind of a body language. Okay, smiling or laughing also sometimes become, okay, many a times it may be involuntary, but most of the voluntary, but most of the time it becomes involuntary. Okay, I'll just give you an example of how body language plays an important role here. Again, when I talk about smiling, कोई तो भी गिर जाता है, बराबर है? वो गिरने के बाद he is walking along with you and he slips the staircase and he falls. Now automatically what your body does it, you start laughing on it, isn't it? आपको हंसना नहीं होता है. Okay, you are feeling sad for it, but the act is such that you start laughing on it. Have you experienced this? कितने लोग ऐसे हैं कि जिन्होंने अपना फ्रेंड गिरने के बाद आप हंसे नहीं हो और आपको सच में सैड लगा है. एंड आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट ही हैज नॉट हर्ट हिमसेल्फ, लेकिन वो ट्रिप हो गया है एंड क्या बोलते हैं द साइट वाज फनी, उसको ज्यादा कुछ लगा नहीं है, फ्रैक्चर कुछ नहीं हुआ, एंड यू हैव स्टार्टेड लाफिंग. मेनी टाइम्स इट हैज हैपेंड. इट हैज हैपेंड विद मी आल्सो. फर्दर आल्सो व्हेन इट इज गोइंग टू हैपन, आपको दिल से बुरा हुआ लगा हुआ रहता है, but involuntary what happens is you start laughing on it. Okay, and after some time you compose yourself and you look at him, अरे क्या हो गया, कैसे हो गया, are you okay or not? Okay, so this is an involuntary type of an body language that happens. Okay, swallowing, coughing, breathing rate. When somebody asks when you're sitting for a viva, when the teacher is asking you questions, okay, involuntary your breathing rate gets it increases. Okay, that all happens involuntary. Whereas there are some body language which you voluntarily do it. Okay, for example, when you do the eye contact, okay, this eye contact, when you do it very voluntarily. If you are confident enough, you are voluntarily going to look into the eyes. Okay, standing postures, many a time it may be involuntarily, but voluntarily you have to think that I am going to stand in this way. It is a body habit also, but that you have to do sometimes voluntarily. Many a times the involuntary body language, what I mean to say over here is, many a times the involuntary body language should be made voluntarily in such a way that it goes along with your communication, and it strengthens your communication, whereby you are making some other person happy on that. You are making other person happy on your body language, whatever the body language you are showing it to. Okay, that kind of body language you should develop in yourself. Okay, first voluntarily, and then it should go into your system, so that involuntary also that kind of body language should come out of your body. Okay, so that is going to give a positive kind of a body language. At the end, we are going to see a positive body language and a negative body language. So you have to voluntarily make efforts into your body language, so that each and every time a positive body language is going to come out. Like if somebody is talking, then you always have a smile on your face this way. Okay, this voluntarily you have to do, so that involuntarily also it is going to come out. Like if you don't have a habit of keeping an eye contact, then voluntarily you have to make efforts to keep the eye contact, so that involuntarily also the eye contact will be generated. Many of the students, they have a habit of not keeping an eye contact. They will go somewhere else and they are going to talk. Okay, many professors I have seen. I have professors who are not keeping eye in eye. They used to look at somewhere else, and then they used to speak. It is not that they were not good in their craft. I mean to say, it was not good that they were not a good teacher. They were fantastic teachers. But still, when it came to eye contact, they were not able to keep the eye contact. Okay. So if you are that kind of a person, then voluntarily you have to see to it that you are going to keep eye contact. Okay. When you are talking with somebody, you are voluntarily going to start keeping eye contact, and slowly and steadily you are going to develop it. Okay. I was into marketing earlier, my initial years. When I did my B Pharmacy, I was into marketing, and in marketing we were when we used to discuss with the doctors, when we used to had a conversation with the doctors, we were specifically told that when you're doing marketing and when you are having conversation with the doctors, you have to take care that you have a very good eye contact. Okay, so that eye contact was developed at that moment of time. Okay, so voluntarily we used to see to it that we keep eye contact. That has developed so much that if somebody is not if I'm taking a lecture in the classroom, and if somebody is not having an eye contact with me, I get I get disturbed that he is not keeping an eye contact with me. Okay, if a student is not keeping an eye contact with me. So what I want to tell you over here is, these body languages, though are involuntary in nature, many a times, many of the body languages are involuntary in nature, but you have to make changes in yourself, okay, voluntarily, okay, so that you always give a positive body language to somebody else. There are a few things that you have to remember when you talk about the body language. Now, the body language also differs from region to region, person to person, family to family, culture to culture. Okay, it goes on differing. Community to community, it may go on differing. It may go on, situation to situation. It is going to differ. A body language that a person is may be favorable now may not be favorable afterwards. Okay. Just for an example, the example that is given over here is an example of an eye contact, which we were not talking yesterday. I said I will talk about the eye contact in detail tomorrow. So let us take the example of eye contact. Now, eye contact, if you take the American culture, In American culture, this eye contact is a form of respect. If you go to Eastern culture, it is opposite. It is considered as rude and disrespectful. Now culture to culture it is different. In Americans, they want that there should be eye contact when the communication is going on, whereas in Eastern culture they feel it as it is rude and disrespectful. So the same body language of eye contact is having different meanings in different cultures. Let us take a situation. Okay, now a father is talking with the son. What does the father say? Look into my eyes, I am speaking with you, isn't it? Don't look here and there. That is what he is saying. The same father, okay, when he's scolding his son or daughter, what does he want? He wants his son or daughter to look down. Okay, when he's scolding, he will say, what are you looking into my eyes? इतनी भी शर्म नहीं क्या तुमको? मेरी आंखों में आंखें डाल के देख रहे हो, मैं तुमको बता रहा हूं कुछ और. At that time, he wants, so situation to situation also it changes. The same eye contact is expected that the father expects that the son should give an eye contact when he's talking to him. The same father expects that his son should keep his eyes down when he's talking to him. Understood? So situation to situation also the eye contact, the body language is differs. I've taken the example of body language. In the similar manner, there may be different examples at different situations. Whether you should keep your hands folded or not, at what occasion the folded hands would give a good impression, at what occasion the folded hands would give a negative impression, that you have to understand. It depends upon person to person also. Some person like that there should be an eye contact which is maintained, whereas some people don't like that the eye contact should be maintained. Some people like that the person who is sitting should not come very close to each other, okay, at a given moment of time when they are talking to each other. Whereas some people they like that the person should come closer and hear to him when he is communicating with him. Some people get very distracted or they uncomfortable when somebody comes very closer to them. So it depends upon your boss also. It depends upon individual to individual also. The point that I want to stress over here is you have to understand what kind of an body language the other person wants. There are some standard rules and regulations like eye contact should be maintained. You should be sitting very upright. Okay. You should not when somebody is talking you should lean forward. Okay. These are some of the body languages which you are aware of also and which you learn over a period of time. But at the same time, you should also understand what kind of a person the other person is with whom you are communicating. And accordingly, you should manipulate your body language. Okay. मुझे पता है मेरे बॉस को कौन सी चीजें अच्छी लगती है कम्युनिकेशन के टाइम. इन दैट वे आई शुड बिहेव. मेरे बॉस को पता है कि मुझे पता है कि मेरे डैड को कौन सी चीजें अच्छी लगती है व्हाइल कम्युनिकेटिंग. So I should behave in that way. मेरे मॉम को कौन सी चीजें पसंद है, so in that way I should behave. That is going to develop a positive communication between you and them. Many a times you must be telling your friends also ना, जब तुम्हारे friends आने वाले होते हैं घर पे and they are going to communicate something with your dad, you give them the tips, isn't it? मेरे डैड को ये पसंद है, मेरे डैड को वो पसंद है, आते ही मेरे डैड के पैर छू लेना, तो वो बराबर तुमको परमिशन दे देंगे मेरे साथ मुझे ट्रिप पे आने के लिए. Something like this you do tell your friends, right or wrong, isn't it? So can 5 of them open their mic and tell me which is the body language which your father likes a lot? Can you tell me that while communicating? 5 लोग कोई भी. I want some new people. You can answer in Hindi, you can answer in Marathi, you can answer in English, any language you can choose. But I want the answer from you that which is the body language which your father likes a lot. If you want to get him convinced, you want to convince your dad that मुझे पिकनिक जाना है, तो कौन सी टाइप के बॉडी लैंग्वेज आप यूज करोगे, ओके, फॉर हिम टू गेट कन्विंस? हाउ विल यू टेल योर फ्रेंड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ बॉडी लैंग्वेज शुड बी यूज इन ऑर्डर टू कन्विंस योर फादर? क्या आप मुझे बता सकते हो? कैन समबडी टेल मी? ओपन द माइक, 5 of them please. Please. Yeah, who is this? Aditi, please go ahead, begin.
Yeah, sir, so my father would only allow some of my friends if they give some valid reason. Like vague बात करेंगे तो मेरे dad बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं करते, उनको वैलिड लॉजिकल प्रैक्टिकल रहना पसंद है।
लेकिन बेटा ये तो बात हो गई जो वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन में ये पार्ट आ जाएगा,
हाँ,
ठीक है,
तो
व्हेन वी
नहीं,
यूज
बॉडी
वर्ड्स।
लैंग्वेज में भी जो ऐसे
हाँ
एकदम ऐसे कैजुअली बात करते हैं ना, वो नहीं जमता मेरे डैड को।
हाँ,
तो
सो ही
बोलते एकदम
डजंट
ऐसे
लेट,
प्रोफेशनल
सो
होना
योर,
चाहिए कोई।
perfect. So your dad prefers professional body language over casual body language. Let us put it in that way,
यस सर।
right? So if somebody wants to convince your dad, then it will be in a very professional and in a very thorough way, right? With professional behavior and with professional wordings also. Let me put in that words. So
यस सर।
his body language as well as the words, verbal communication should be very very professional, right? Good, very good, Aditi. I appreciate your answer. Anybody else? Anybody else would like to add to Aditi? What does your dad prefer? Please, please do participate. This is fun, you know. I understand you. You understand me. This is fun. Please do participate. Something else? At least one of them. One of them in Marathi. I want now. Yeah, please go ahead. Prajakta.
That depends upon mood of my dad.
Fantastic. Okay. So, what will you tell your friend? I am your friend. I am coming to your home to convince your dad that I Prajakta to come. What tips will you give me regarding my body language?
So it depends upon mood.
Huh.
He will be in a good mood, then only he will allow me, or otherwise not.
So, what any kind of body language would not help in that case.
It's
Okay, fine. So there are some places where the body language do not work or the communication does not work. His mood is going to work. Yes, there are. Okay. आप कितना भी सामने वाले को कन्विंस करने की कोशिश करो, अगर उसके मूड पे नहीं है तो ही इज नॉट गोइंग टू गेट कन्विंस. ओके. लेकिन अगर उनका मूड अच्छा है, लेट मी पुट इट दिस वे प्राजक्ता, इफ हिज मूड इज गुड and if I come and I speak in a rude way with him, oh,
no, sir. He will get distracted.
absolutely. Okay, so that's what I want to say. Okay, so if he's in good mood, then और अगर क्या होता है, आपको आपकी बेटी को भेज दें पिकनिक को, what I won't like if you don't send her. Understood? Will you send? Absolutely not. Isn't it, Prajakta? You agree or not? So even
Yes.
even if in a good mood, even if he is in a good mood, and he is going to allow you after my communication is not going to allow you the way I communicated now. He's not going to allow you, isn't it? So what is the communication so that is what I want. What kind of communication I should do with your dad when he's in good mood? Bad mood तो सवाल ही नहीं आता. चाहे मैं कितना भी अच्छा बात करूं वो छोड़ने वाले नहीं है. That I got it. But now he is in good mood. Okay. And I want to, वो तो आप मुझे बताओगे ना कि Manish, now you can come to my house, right? And now you can discuss with my dad because now my dad is in good mood. He will allow me. But when you come, what are the tips that you're going to give me? Or you're not going to give me any tip to speak with your dad? You don't give any tips to your friends while they come to your house? I used to give a lot of tips. ऐसा बात कर, वैसा बात कर, isn't it? No?
Yes, sir.
You know what tips I give? What tips I used to give my friends when they used to come to my house, you know, and they are going to ask my mother to, you know, कुछ के क्रिकेट खेलने के लिए जाना है या इसको छोड़ो हमको पतंग उड़ानी है या something of that sort. ज्यादा करके क्रिकेट, हम क्रिकेट खेलने जाते थे ग्राउंड के ऊपर. माय मॉम यूज्ड टू बी लाइक, यू नो, पढ़ाई कर, और मैं कभी पढ़ाई नहीं करता था. कोई भी नहीं करता, ठीक है, एट दैट एज. So I also was not study, and my mother used to say कि जब तक तेरी पढ़ाई पूरी नहीं होती तब तक मैं तुझे क्रिकेट खेलने नहीं भेजूंगी. And So the tip I have to give my this thing is, my friends is, जब भी आओगे तो मम्मी की थोड़ी सी तारीफ कर देना. उसने खाने को दिया तो उसको थोड़ा सा प्रेज कर देना कि बहुत अच्छा बनाया खाना, या फिर सब एनी तारीफ हो, घर बहुत अच्छा रखा है आपने, आंटी जी, ऐसा जो भी है वो. So तारीफ कर देना, and if you do तारीफ of her, okay, in a nice way, and if you smile and speak with her, then she's going to allow me. Okay, that is the yeah.
Sir, this does not work on my parents somehow.
Acha, this does not work on your parents. Okay.
Sir,
No,
they
the
are
parents.
somehow way too smart for all this.
नहीं, मेरी मम्मी तो अभी भी पिघल जाती है उसकी तारीफ करो तो. आज भी मेरी मम्मी से मुझे कुछ काम करवाना होता है तो मैं उसकी तारीफ कर देता हूँ, काम करवा देती है मेरा. ठीक है, आज भी इफ आई वांट दिस, तारीफ का तो मैं बहुत जगह पे यूज करता हूँ. इट्स नॉट ओनली विथ माय मॉम एंड माय वाइफ और माय डॉटर्स. तारीफ की तो मैं बहुत जगह पे, आप अगर जब आओगे कॉलेज में तो आपको दिखाई देगा कि मैं किस तरह से तारीफ करके काम निकलवा लेता हूँ. तो बचपन से आदत हो गई वो मुझे इस बॉडी लैंग्वेज की या इस तरह के बातों की. ओके, एंड पैटिंग ऑफ बैक, क्लैपिंग फॉर समबडी, ओके, doing this, yes, you have done a good job and something like this. ये तो मेरे बॉडी के अंदर आ गया है. And why this has come inside my body is because from my childhood I am doing this, so this has come into my systems. Okay, because I used to do this with my dad, I used to do this with my mom. After marriage I did it with my wife. So ये मेरे सिस्टम में आ गया अभी. That is what I am trying to tell you. These body languages, you have to make it come into your system, and these positive body languages should come into your system. This frowning, growling, grumpy, complaining, इस टाइप का जो बॉडी लैंग्वेज है ना, फेस को ऐसा करना, oh my god, what is this, this type of making this type of faces. Okay, these body languages should be eliminated, should be flushed out from your body. Okay, क्योंकि अगर ऐसी बॉडी लैंग्वेज आपके अंदर आज आ गई तो कल जाके उसी टाइप की बॉडी लैंग्वेज आपके अंदर रहने वाली है. ऑलवेज हैव अ स्माइली फेस. ओके, चेहरे पे हमेशा एक मुस्कान रखो, आई कांटेक्ट रखो, हैव अ फॉर्म ऑफ रिस्पेक्ट. कोई भी बड़ा आता है उसके पैर छू. These are very very nice kind of, पैर छूना is such a very good kind of an body language. It is a fantastic form of respect that the respect that you show through your body. उसमें वर्ड्स को कुछ भी जरूरत नहीं होती. जस्ट आप पैर छू लो and the other person will consider you as the most cultured human being that is there on the earth. आपको मुंह खोलने की भी जरूरत नहीं उसमें, सिर्फ एक सिंगल बॉडी लैंग्वेज. How many of you agree with me? This kind of a gesture. How many of you agree with me? Just I want you to raise your hand. I can't see it, the raised hand. लेकिन फिर भी okay, if I can see the raised hand. Okay, how many of you feel that now I can see your hands raised? Okay, just पैर छूना is the most wonderful act. How many of you feel it in that way? Fantastic. Most of them feel it in that way, isn't it? In fact, all are raising the hands. If you can see, all of them are raising the hand and they are saying ki, yes, this is a good sign. Many of them are not. I don't know whether they are present or not. For example, one of them, who is not raising its hand is say Mane Akshay is not raising his hand. Mane Akshay, do you feel that it is not something good that किसी के पैर पड़ना is not good? What do you feel?
Sir, it is a one type of a traditional.
Akshay is there? Yeah. You didn't raise your hand, so I'm asking you. Don't you believe with me that pair chuna is a act where you can be considered as cultured one? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
You feel it?
Yes, sir. Because in Maharashtra, this is one type of a culture.
But मैंने हाथ नहीं उठाया इसलिए मैंने, you didn't raise your hand. That's why I'm asking you. बाकी कुछ नहीं. In the chat box, I didn't see your hand raised. That's why I asked you this question. But yes, most of them have agreed to this point that so a single body language is communicating so much about you as a person, isn't it? Right?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, so ऐसा होता है कि so this is how you have to cultivate good things into your system, into your body. Okay.
Yeah.
The second thing, so this was the first thing that I wanted to tell you. The first thing that you have to remember is culture to culture, situation to situation, region to region. Okay, different body languages have different types of meaning. Person to person, these all changes. Okay, and you have to understand what kind of a body language the other person likes, and you have to go ahead with that kind of a body language for that kind of a person. The second thing that you have to remember is, which I told yesterday, is that your body language and your communication should go hand in hand. If it does not go hand in hand, then what is going to happen? One thing that is going to happen is that people are going to get confused कि ये क्या कहना चाहता है. And second thing that is going to happen is people are going to believe more in your body language than they are believing into your spoken words. Okay, just for an example, if I am feeling happy for something, अगर मुझे कोई आके अच्छी न्यूज बताता है, if I am feeling happy, then that happiness should reflect on my face. If that happiness is not reflecting on my face, and if I have a face which is a little bit sad, and if I say very good, very nice, I am very happy for you, but my face is showing the sadness, then people are not going to believe your words. People are going to believe your body language. And people are going to say that yes, he was not happy when I told some good news about me to him. Because people believe more on your body language than your spoken words. Remember, 7%. 7% only is the importance of the words that you have spoken. So remaining 93% is the body language. So people are going to believe on 93% more. Okay, people are going to believe 93% on your non-verbal communication than your verbal communication. Okay. Now, body language, one thing that you have to remember is mimicking of body language. Now, many a times you must have seen that you unintentionally, sometimes intentionally also, okay, you mimic the body language of the person whom you admire or whom you follow a lot. Just for an example, many a times you mimic the body language of your father, you mimic the body language of your uncle, you mimic the body language of your elderlies, you mimic the body language of your mother, okay, you mimic the body language of your teachers, you mimic the body language of your gurus, you try to mimic that body language. A very good kind of an example that I can give you is, Virendra Sehwag. Virendra Sehwag used to consider Sachin Tendulkar as his guru. And the shots that used to play, the shots that Virendra Sehwag played in cricket, okay, they were similar. Okay, and his body language, it was quite similar to what Sachin Tendulkar had. So this is mimicking of body language. It happens unintentionally when you admire someone or you follow someone. It happens unintentionally. You start mimicking his body language. Many a times, this body language, okay, when mimicked in a very proper way, in a right in the right perspective, it gives a very positive kind of a signal. Okay, some body language just leaning forward, which I talked about, when you lean forward when somebody is talking, okay, is a body language which you mimic a lot. If somebody while talking, if he moves forward towards you, okay, on a table, the second step that happens is you also move forward towards him. This is one of the body language which you can mimic unintentionally. Okay, if he leans forward, okay, you should also lean forward. This is the mimicking of body language that should happen. If he leans forward and if you are sitting at the same position, it means what? You are not interested in what he is talking. So this mimicking of body language should happen. Crossing of leg is one of the body language that many people mimic. If somebody crosses his leg, okay, पैर के ऊपर पैर रखता है सामने वाला, in the same way you also do, आप भी आपके पैर के ऊपर पैर रखते हो. Try to remember the last time when this happened, और next time जब ऐसा होगा कि आप भी पैर के ऊपर पैर रखोगे, या somebody is leaning forward, you will also lean forward. Okay, that time remember what I have said you. Remember what I have told you at this moment. And this is a good sign. It is not that it is a bad sign when done in a very nice way. Okay, when it is done properly, when you are mimicking somebody else's body language, okay, then it is a good sign. Okay, he is putting a thumbs up. Okay, this is the body language that he has done, और आपके साथ आप भी उसको इस तरह से thumbs up देते हो. Okay, then what is it? It is a good kind of a body language that you're mimicking. So mimicking of body language, okay, also gives a very good positive wavelength. It also conveys support to that person. So when he is doing some body language, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया ये body language होगी, आपने उसने ऐसा किया, supposing he has done this type of a body language, और आप भी उसके साथ इस तरह से body language करते हो दूर से ही. So it reflects what? It reflects a positive attitude. Okay, it reflects, it conveys the support that you're trying to give it to him. Any kind of body language. He raises an hand. Okay, he raises an hand. Immediately, what is? You also raise your hand. Don't you know? Have you seen this? Your friend is raising an hand towards you. आपका hand हमेशा ऐसा ऊपर चला जाता है. This is also mimicking of body language. Okay. And supposing he is raising a hand and you are keeping your hand folded, is give a positive wavelength? No, it is not going to give a positive wavelength. Okay, when he raises your hand, you also raise your hand, right? That is the positive wavelength which you give. Supposing you are hugging your friend and he pats on your back. Okay, he has hugged you. He's क्या बोलते हैं? Alingan diya hai. If hugging is somebody is not understanding, okay, he has hugged you, and he's patting on your back. Next moment, just imagine what you are going to do. आप भी वही करते हो, आप भी उसके back पे pat करते हो. Okay, have you seen that? Okay, so this is the kind of body language, mimicking of body language, which is very, very important. Okay. You use the other's body language also very effectively. Please remember, while you mimic the body language, whereas sometimes you use the other person's body language to understand the things. Okay, it gives you an idea about the other person. For example, if I am there in the class and 4 से 5 का ही lecture है समझो. Many a times it happens that from 4 to 5 lecture, you're coming from at 9 a.m. By the time it becomes 5 p.m., you are totally exhausted. Okay, and that moment of time you try to give a body language where you are trying to tell me, sir, अभी बस हो गया, अभी हमारे capacity नहीं है आगे पढ़ने की. Okay, that is the time I should understand that body language. That no, now the students can't grasp more things. I have to change my style. Either I have to change my style of teaching, or I have to give them a break for 5 minutes, or something of that sort. So this body language is going to make me understand. If I'm selling a product, okay, if I'm selling a product, and while selling if I see through the body language of other person that this person is not liking my product, okay, in that case, that body language should help me understand that this person is not liking my product. So what I have to do is I have to change my strategy of selling that product. I have to use some other strategy in order to sell my product. Okay, then I may try to, instead of telling the USP, that is the unique selling propositions, okay, telling good things about my product, I may use some other strategy. I may talk to him about his hobbies. I may talk to him about his family, and so on and so forth. Okay, I may shift to my communication to cricket, because he is not interested in hearing to the USP of my product. So what I have to do is I have to shift my communication to something else, right? So you have to use the body language of other person to understand that whether that person is interested in your communication or not. And if that person is not interested in your communication, then you have to change your communication. You have to change your style of communication. You have to change your topic of communication. कुछ तो भी आपको करना पड़ेगा जिससे कि आपके communication में उसको interest आ जाए. Because you know that the person is not interested in your communication from his body language. So I am using his body language in order to understand what is the reaction of his to my product. Okay, or to my, या फिर जब when I'm giving a lecture, while giving a lecture, I always, any professor looks at your body. He understands your body language, and then he decides whether his lecture is going successful or whether it is going not successful. And accordingly, he changes his style of lecture and content of lecture. This is not possible now because I am not able to see you. Okay, so many times this is a great barrier in the communication when we are doing this type of communication, because I am not totally able to see your body language. Okay. Another thing that you have to remember is, like, you are noting the body language of other person, the other person is also noting your body language. Okay. And when he is noting your body language, that time you have to see to it that you always keep a positive body language to whatever the other person is saying. Then only, means if you want to communicate with him successfully in that case. There are some instances when you want to avoid that person, you want to tell that you want to avoid that person. That case, in that case, it may be different, but that cannot happen in your business. Okay, when you are doing a business, when you are doing a job at your workplace, that is not possible. You cannot avoid people. You cannot make people, what do you call that? You cannot make people feel bad about you, isn't it? By your body language. Okay, you have to make people feel friendly about you, right? So these two things, again, you have to remember about body language, that their body communicates to you and your body also communicates to them. So you have to keep a very good body language. At the same time, while you are keeping the good body language, you have to study the body language of other person, and accordingly you have to go on changing your communication. Okay. And secondly, mimicking of body language is a very good thing if it is done in a very nice and positive manner. Okay. Moving ahead with the body language. Now, please remember, when we talk about the body language, okay. Now, body language includes many aspects. Okay. Gesturing is one of the aspects of body language. When we say that communication through gestures, तो gesture is one of the part of body language. बॉडी लैंग्वेज में बहुत सारे पार्ट्स आते हैं, जैसे मैंने बताया आपको लिस्ट दी है, और वो लिस्ट में एक पार्ट है आपका व्हाट यू कॉल इट जेस्चर्स. सो जेस्चर्स इज वन ऑफ द पार्ट ऑफ द बॉडी लैंग्वेज. व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन, ओके, इन नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन बॉडी लैंग्वेज इज वन ऑफ द एस्पेक्ट. ओके, एंड इन बॉडी लैंग्वेज वन ऑफ द एस्पेक्ट्स इज योर जेस्चर्स. ओके, so that you have to remember. So let us talk about the advantages of body language, or for that matter, let us talk about the advantages of your non-verbal communication. You can do non-verbal communication very successfully, and the advantages, you can do this non-verbal communication with somebody you cannot hear you. जिसको कुछ सुनाई नहीं देता, उसके साथ आप इस तरह की body language कर सकते हो. One who is not able to hear you, he is not able to hear because of maybe some what you call that, disease or some defect that he's having. Okay, so because of the hearing problem, he's not able to hear you. That time you can use the sign language, or you can communicate through the body language. Or it may be because of the distance, he's too far away from you, and that's why he's not able to hear you. So point number 4, if you see, is of that he is too far away from you to hear, and as he is very far away from you to hear, that's why he's not able to hear you. And that's why you speak with the sign languages. Okay, there are some places where you cannot talk very loudly. Just for example, mandir mein, masjid mein, ya fir gurudwara mein, the place of worship. In classroom, you cannot talk loudly when lecture is going on, right? So there are some places where you cannot talk loudly, okay, whereby you will be audible to somebody. In such cases, you can do your body language, जो आप हमेशा करते थे क्लासरूम में, isn't it? आपको कुछ बताना है टीचर के बारे में, टीचर has made some mistake, okay, while pronunciation he made some mistake, while speaking he made some mistake, तो immediately आप क्या करते हो, कोनी से अपने फ्रेंड को मार देते हो, है ना, you just communicate to your friend, because you cannot say na, see the sir has made the mistake. ऐसे जोर से आप नहीं बोल सकते, तो आप क्या करते हो, सिर्फ कोहनी से मार देते हो या फिर पैर आप हिला देते हो, you just kick the other person with your leg and he understands what you want to communicate. Okay, so this is about the use of body language. Another advantage is when the people around you should not hear you, right? आपको किसी के बारे में कुछ बताना है and others, there is some confidential matter that you want to discuss with him. Okay, तो आप क्या करते हो, सिर्फ आंखों ही आंखों में बात करते हो उससे, whereby the other person understands what you want to say. So it may be because with your eyes, it may be because with your touch, you just pinch that person and the other person understands what you want to tell him, isn't it? So when the others don't want to hear your communication and you want to communicate with only a singular person, okay, at that moment of time, it can also be done with your body language. Okay, just for example, when somebody asks you a question in the classroom, what does your body language go? You just raise your hand. You're not audible enough because you don't want to disturb the teacher. Yeah, if you want to ask some query, then what you do is you just raise your hand, right? And when you raise your hand, then what happens is the professor understands that he has to ask some question. So once he finishes communication, he stops and he asks, okay, what is the question? Please ask me. So then non-verbal communication is very short and very brief, isn't it? When you are communicating through your sentence, you speak a lot. Whereas a non-verbal communication is very short and brief, just a thumbs up. It means what? Yes, I agree to whatever you are saying. With this sign, I support you. Everything comes with this thumbs up. Okay. So that is it. The conversation is very short and brief. As the communication is short, as the communication is brief, so it saves on your time. It saves a lot of time. Okay. It is also useful when you don't understand somebody else's language. Okay, you ask him a question and he says yes, he nods his head. Okay, it means what? You understand. If he talks, he says whatever he is saying, but by nodding of his head, you understand that he is saying that you are not understanding his language, but you are saying that he is agreeing to whatever you are saying. Okay. Then the next advantage that your body language is going to have, which I told you earlier, is that when the person is too far away from you, at that time also you can communicate with him through the signs of the body language. Is standing on the 5th floor, you are standing on the ground floor. Okay, at that time, how you communicate? He doesn't shout, you don't shout. He just makes the gesture. You understand his gesture, and you both communicate with each other. These are some of the advantages of your body language or your non-verbal communication. There are some disadvantages also of your body language or your non-verbal communication for that matter. For example, long conversations are not possible through a body language non-verbal communication. How much time are you going to communicate? Except for unless and until you know the language that the deaf and dumb they are speaking, unless and until you don't know that language, and unless and until the other person also knows that language, okay, then only you can do a long conversation. Otherwise, long conversation is not possible in non-verbal communication. It varies from culture to culture, as I told you. In some culture, your body language may be considered as rude, whereas in some other culture, it may be considered as as a good body language. I don't know, but maybe in American culture, if somebody goes and अगर उसके पैर पड़ लेता है तो he may feel अरे ये क्या कर रहा है, okay, he may feel it in that way. Whereas in Indian culture, it would be accepted. Maybe सर पे घूंघट लेना is a very good culture in one of the community, but वही सर पे घूंघट लेना may not be a very good culture in some other community also. Okay, so culture to culture, the body language, the signs and symbols, they are going to change. Okay, which we talked about earlier. So it is very hard to pinpoint that this body language is going to have a very good effect. You have to go on changing it further and further. Now, there are as I talked about earlier also, there are some messages that cannot be done through the non-verbal communication. Certain messages, certain discussions are not possible through the non-verbal communication. You have to go through the verbal communications only. More so ever when the communication is very long. Okay, that time it is not possible. Okay, Now, it cannot be used as a normal public tool during communications. कोई तो भी नेता भाषण दे रहा है, okay, standing on the stage, or there is a board meeting which is going on, okay, or the teacher is giving a lecture, which is a public kind of a communication. Between two friends, it may be possible, but with many individuals, when you are giving some public speech, that time this body language is not going to work, okay, and it cannot be used everywhere. For example, in business meetings, etc., verbal communication is going to play a very important role. The non-verbal communication would be very less influential, okay. So these are some of the advantages and disadvantages of your body language, right? Now, I will give you some. We'll stop the lecture by discussing on some of the positive body languages and some of the negative body languages. Okay, how you can convert your body language into a positive body language, and how you can remove the negative body language from your body. Okay, these types of these things should be very very useful for you to understand. आपकी body language कैसी होनी चाहिए? What are the positive sides of your body language? Relaxed posture, okay, is the best form of your body language. If you have the if you have tension inside your body, if your posture is not relaxed, if your posture is a tensed one, okay, it is a sign of a negative body language. So relaxed posture is sign of a positive body language, whereas tensed body, okay, non-relaxed body is a sign of a negative body language. When you are speaking with somebody, when you are hearing with somebody, then your arms should be relaxed. At many places, folded arms is considered as a negative body language. Whereas if you keep your arms straight, or when you keep your arms behind, okay, and you fold it, okay, that time it is considered at many places. Okay, many people think that when you have your hands behind, okay, that is also considered as a body language. Whereas if you keep your hand in front, folded is not in this way. I'm not able to show you, but below, if you keep it your hand in a relaxed position, okay, then that kind of a body language is considered to be a very positive body language. Okay, it means you are hearing, you are accepting, and you are grasping what the other person is trying to say. Okay, I talked about the eye contact. You should have a very good eye contact. Okay, you should, when he is speaking something, you should always nod with agreement. You should go on nodding, which gives a very good kind of a body language. Okay, smiling at somebody's humor, definitely. You should not smile if somebody is is telling some humor, or he is having smile on your face, then reflect back with a smile on your face. You cannot frown on somebody. Frowning is considered to be a very negative body language. Leaning closer, I talked about when somebody is talking to you, you should lean forward. Okay, this leaning forward, coming closer when somebody is talking to you is a very good body language. Using nice gesture is very important. Using positive gestures, nice gestures, okay, maybe a thumbs up, maybe a good sign, maybe smiling, having an eye contact, these all are very good sign of a body language. Whereas if you are fidgeting, yawning, somebody is talking and you're yawning, you are keeping distance with him, you're going back, okay, you are speaking hand to mouth, okay, this kind of an body language, okay, is considered to be a negative body language. So try to remove your negative body language from your system today only. If you feel that you are having any kind of an body language, you have to identify it first. It is very difficult to identify. तो हमको लगता है कि हमारी बॉडी लैंग्वेज हमेशा अच्छी है, लेकिन अगर आपके फ्रेंड आपको बताते हैं, your friend should be able to tell you what kind of wrong body language you are using. Okay, when you join the college afterwards, okay, when the pandemic is over, when you join, that time your friends will be in a position to tell you. If I was in the classroom, I would have asked your friends, would have taken that exercise whereby I would have asked each and every one of you to understand. Maybe once we join back, okay, after pandemic and after 1 or 2 months is over, we can take these exercises whereby a person would be telling about the other person about his friend, what kind of a positive body language that he's having, one positive body language and one negative body language that he or she is having. Now you can just remember one of your friends, okay, एंड यू कैन जस्ट सी कि उसमें कौन सी टाइप के पॉजिटिव बॉडी लैंग्वेज है और कौन सी टाइप की नेगेटिव बॉडी लैंग्वेज है. And with that, you will be in a position to understand how the positive body language is helping your communication and how is negative body language is, barring your communication. Right? So, all said and done, the final thing that I want to tell you is whenever you are having a communication, try to have a very positive body language. Remember, your body speaks a lot than whatever words you are using. So that positive body language is going to be beneficial for you in your life. With these words, I stop my lecture over here. Thank you very much for your patient listening.